Welcome back to another episode of Factorio, and things are going fantastic here in the base. Not too much to talk about straight away because I've mostly been standing AFK and doing research. There is so much more at this level than I realised, right? I've unlocked modules, some other things. We're going to unlock power armor soon. And down here on the side you can see all of the research so far. We've got plastics done. This is going to unlock all sorts of things that we need to integrate into this area. And I'm going to have to keep upgrading all of this because it's quite important that we get all the different things that can be crafted into chests. And very soon we will be unlocking these things right here. That's not actually it, it's after that. Logistics robots. So once we've done the battery, which we're currently doing in this one, we'll get logistics robots, and then before long we'll be able to make chests which the robots can pick up and bring items to us. So we'll be able to request things in our inventory as opposed to craft them. So all of this is really important, and as we do this research I'm going to have to keep expanding it. So that's what I'll be doing at the beginning of this episode, but my plan is actually to head all the way over to this stone and bring a lot of that down into this area to start crafting things like rails en masse, as we're going to be making a rail system at some point, and we'll of course be starting our base eventually. And over here you can see I'm stockpiling a massive amount of belts. I've got some splitters, I think we'll make some more of these, and some underground belts are being produced as well, just slowly while we do all of the research. So on our mini-map you shall be able to see that there is a belt leading all the way up to the top, and I have a big electric pole here. This connection may get removed later on, but I wanted to show you a tip. This can allow your electricity to travel a long distance, and if you hold down click, it's very smart and it knows where the furthest distance is, and then it will place the next one, right? So if I remove that and go one over, you can see there's no connection. So all you got to do is hold down click, and that's from when you begin placing it. If I place down click now, it will actually put the thing down. So this is going to come over here, and then it's going to go up there through those trees. This is where it might get tricky though. I know it can manage having obstacles, but sometimes you get stuck and it can't find a connection. Or did it just find one? No, it didn't. Okay, so we're going to have to chop down a few trees. So why would we want to bring power all the way up here? It's a silly question, isn't it? It's because we're going to be mining this resource and sending it back on the belt. I've got 6 of these, and I might just use 2 for now because we don't need a lot coming through at once, and I want to be careful with how much pollution we create. Now we're going to start to use this thing called a radar. It scans the area and it expands our minimap, which it's doing straight away. This thing can also use a lot of juice, so you can see our satisfaction has dropped. It's using 300 kilowatts and we're producing 7.1 megawatts. I think it's 0.3 of a megawatt. Anyway, it has revealed to us some blobs over there, and I'm expecting it to reveal to us some aliens at some point. This thing doesn't actually have pollution, but we know that our miner drills do. So the miner drills might bring some aliens over here, which would be bad. So we're also going to fortify this area. You can see I've got some walls, I've got some gun turrets, and I think I forgot to bring ammunition with me, so I should make sure I've got some of that. Okay, we're going to expand our power production. I should be able to reach that to place another one. We were able to do that last time. Anyway, break the pipe, put that down here. We're also going to throw down a radar in this area, so it's kind of like the opposite end from the base. Let's make sure we've got a couple of belts here. There we go, fantastic. And our radar we will just put right here. I don't know if that'll be permanent or not, but the radar also gives you this crazy ability on your mini-map to zoom in and see what's going on in the area. So can you see how we've got this kind of lightened box over here? We can actually zoom in when in mini-map mode and see what's going on. So now we can see everything that's happening over here at this mining facility. So if ever we get attacked by aliens, which are just over there, you can see the pollution is spreading towards them, which might trigger an attack. We can zoom in and see what's going on. So I will head back up here and add some turrets and ammunition and all of that. But radars are extremely effective for this. You can even do ghost building from the radar, but I think that might only be with rails. Let's give it a try. Ah, look at that. You see, we can zoom in somewhere and start to build just from the minimap. Alright, all of our tier 2 research is done. As you can see, we've unlocked tons of stuff, including things we can't really produce just yet, like batteries, because this requires liquids and whatnot. Anyway, let's pay attention to what's going on here. We've got a shotgun being crafted, we've got shotgun shells, so that's the only military stuff that I've done. And then down here you can see that I've added pretty much everything else available to us off of these materials right here, all neatly compacted into this space. It was really fun, like little challenge or puzzle to lay it out like this, and I'm glad I took the time to do so. We haven't done these down here though. This is something that I'd like to do soon, make all of these available. So we do have this stone coming through just over here to make that possible. So that's one more thing that I've got to do. But then there's other things here that we can make that we're not actually making yet, like these things, because they've got advanced circuits in. There's a few of those in this tab, probably a couple in there, and in the combat there's quite a few things I'd like to get that require those advanced circuits. Now to make advanced circuits we're going to need plastics, which means we need an oil refinery and we need to start messing around with oils. And here's where things get really interesting, because our science packs are also going to require oil, oil processing even. So down here is an oil refinery and it has 5 different parts, and this thing can only go up to 4. So we have to craft the next oil refinery manually, and that's why we still have this achievement up, because once we made one of these, that'll be it for the lazy bastard one. I think I could maybe make 1 or 2 oil refineries and make my life easy, because then we have to limp our way to the next assembly machine level. This thing requires 150 science pack freeze and 150 science pack 4. Well, I guess it's science, and that one, no, it is free. And then that's called production science pack. They're in the process of renaming these. Anyway, you get my point. We need both of those. And if we just click back a little bit through here, I think it's this one right here, yes, that gives us that one. So we need to get another 250 of those made. So we need to stockpile 400 of these and then make 150 of those before we can make more oil refineries. And of course what we want to do is have an array of oil refineries. So this next challenge is going to be like a limp through to get all of that science prepared. Looks like the next thing we've got to do is clear out some aliens, and I missed one product, but there's a good place to put it, which is just over here. We need copper, steel, and then we need iron to make the regular magazine. So this is the next level up. This is the piercing rounds magazine. So if we're going to go out and use our submachine gun on some aliens, we better make sure we've got the best gear. I have the best armor available to us. The next one will require the advanced circuits, so we're not going to be able to do that just yet. Alright, that's set up, so I guess we're going to wait here for a minute. The place we're going to head to is all the way up here, simply because that's what we've discovered. So we set up a radar, and then that allows us to discover this crude oil over here. We'll then have to go there and bring it all the way back to this area to create a refinery and do all of that. So we're going to go around to each of these nearby alien bases and take them out. There's also a little bit of coal nearby. I am so glad I discovered that, because I was wondering, how is it that we're going to fuel our train? I didn't really want to run a belt all the way over through our base, so maybe we can actually fuel it on site and have a station there. It's going to be a very basic train setup. In the future we'll do more advanced stuff with trains, but it will come down around here and bring the oil back into this area for oil processing. I guess we're kind of ready to craft the refinery, and also thanks to all of this I've been able to pick up the things we're going to need, right? Like a train, a locomotive, fluid wagons, lots of rails. I now think about it a little bit more. We're going to need some pumps. We'll only actually have 1 fluid wagon for the first time, so that means we'll only need 3 of those. Then again, we need another 3 to unload. Yay, so you've got to think everything through in this game. So we're actually going to need 6 of those, and then of course we're going to need pump jacks, and you can actually count the amount from over here. So if I zoom in, we can see that there are 3 there, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I know exactly how many of these to bring with us. Okay, and I've picked up all the things to craft the oil refinery. So we go from 105 to, oh yeah, I've got to press a button, to 106. The amount of times I've come on here and clicked, I'm really glad I reassigned the key, so I have to hold down another button to do that. There we go, we're up to 106, and I think that might just be the last craft that we make, so I'm going to take this off of the screen. But we now have ourselves a refinery. So, just a little bit more preparation and we'll go fight those aliens. Okay, I've just got done waiting out the night, and I totally forgot to pick up my shotgun. Well, we'll do a second round with the shotgun. All that preparation and I forgot to pick that up. Here's something else I've been thinking of. In this game there's a way of taking out aliens where you use lasers, and you can use them to attack or you can use them to fall back, and that just got me thinking that we need a fallback point, and I think that is going to be right here, where we'll lay down a gun turret or two, and we should also see these things in action at some point, right? And we can fill them up with ammunition and leave them here because they don't need electricity. So we can drop back to this point if the aliens become too much. Now, spacebar is the means to attack, and they are quite weak. Let's see what the gun turrets do. Okay, and they mince them as well. That's brilliant. Alright, looks like this is going to be quite easy. I know I nerfed the aliens a bit, but they will get progressively harder is the problem. And we have taken out that nest, which might be a new nest. They do expand, and I'm not particularly a fan of that either, because it adds a toll of maintenance onto this game. You know, you've always got to run off and deal with the aliens when you're in the middle of something else. Okay, this next nest is bigger to say the least. What I could try and do is put these a little bit closer, right, and use them to attack. But as soon as they start running at me, then I would panic. Right, all the little ones are down. This is actually quite easy, isn't it? Right, so aim at the nest, now aim at the little ones. I'm using my cursor here to aim as well. There is another way to attack which involves C, but I think it only shoots if your cursor is over the alien itself. Right, so now I'm thinking it would be a good idea to have a turret right next to me. Let's go ahead. Oh, do you know what? I put all the ammunition into these ones. Okay, there we go. Give it some ammunition. Right, and now it's helping me. So I can focus on the nest to some extent, and the gun turret will shoot the little aliens running at me. That speeds things up. This isn't quite as easy as I thought, you know. And I'm tearing through some of my ammunition here. Whoa! Okay, we got a worm. That thing right there can shoot you from afar. Let's take care of you. Let's put down another gun turret. Give it some ammo. There we go. And then try and take out the worm. Look, it's doing a lot of damage to me. Okay, it's down. I'm going to be alright. This isn't so bad. We have lost a bit of health, though. Oh, and I'm out of ammunition. Okay, I've gone through my piercing rounds, so now my attacks are not going to be as strong. That's kind of alarming. Okay, we are totally going to double up production of these piercing rounds over here. And we're going to pick up some shotgun shells and get ourselves a shotgun. And I imagine by the time we get back up top... I missed a step here. This thing requires cogs. You never got that thing there. Okay, and it requires wood, which is over here, so I'll have to do this manually. So now we have a shotgun, and by the time I get back up to the top, as I was trying to say, it's going to be night time. Let's quickly check on our bonuses. So we got damage plus 20, and on the shotgun as well. Okay, that's good, and shooting speed is plus 60. While we head out to the next space, I figured it'd be a good idea to bring some electric poles with us as well. It's always good to think about these things in order. You really have to plan when you play this game. Otherwise, later on, I'd be making a trip back and forth again. We've now run into some trees, by the way. One of the things that you can do with the shotgun, I've just pressed tab to select it, is you can shoot down trees. I think there's even an achievement for this. But there you go, we're shooting them out of our way. These things also remove pollution, so it might not be the best of ideas to just shoot them all away, you know. Okay, I don't like these little bars being left here, so we're going to chop down the ones manually just to get rid of that. I also want to do a quick experiment. We have 244 wood. Let's shoot that tree alone, and you don't get any wood when you destroy the tree. Okay. Ah, we've arrived at the oil already. It's actually not that big of an oil field. I really don't know too much about the yield as well. These things seem to sort of last forever, is my experience of them. And we've got a small nest just here. What we'll do is plop down a radar. You see, once again, preparedness, brought that with us. So while we're in the area setting this up, we'll scan around and see if there's any other alien bases. And if the shotgun's good, we might go and take out that big base up there. But first of all, let's take this little one out with the shotgun. So this could require a bit more skill. Oh, yikes. Okay, because I've got to aim now with my shotgun. That's fair enough. Let's try and... Oh, we've got a biter, spitter thing. I forget the names. I get them muddled up. You know me. Okay, no, that's not going very well. I can also hold this down rather than tap it every single time. Right, I think I need to back off now. That's not working out. Alright, my gun turret got damaged, and so it didn't stack with the other gun turret. I wonder why one was missing. We also had these things called repair packs. I should really have more of those in my inventory. We can... No, okay, I did that totally wrong. I think you left-click on it to repair it. Yeah, there you go. Left-click and it repairs. That thing is strong. Initially, I was quite confident about this, but now I'm not so sure. These aliens are going to be tough. Alright, that's it. That's probably all we're going to do. Looks like there's another nest directly above us. Oh dear. think that's all we're going to do for now. We're going to try and get out of here without creating too much pollution. I'm not as prepared as I would have liked to have been. For all that talk of preparedness, I forgot these underground pipes. They're actually quite important when you're doing all this kind of stuff. Well, they're super important. Anyway, what I want to show you next is how to build rails using the mini-map. If we press M and zoom in, we can see this area. We can also scan across through the entire path because I put a radar up at that site and I also put a radar just over here. So what we'll do is we'll have the station come in just below where all of this is. If I hold down shift, it allows us to create ghost blueprints. So we're going to have that going on. Now if we click on this little icon here, we can start to use this other tool to create the track for us. So what we want to do is have a bit of length like that, and then we want it to rotate and go back round on itself. So this allows the train to come in and then go back out again. And we'll do it something like that, and we can unload the materials here. And then what I've got to go and do is place those rails, obviously, but from here I can just be in the safety of my base and design the track for the whole journey, basically. Okay, and here we are at the other end. By the way, you press R to rotate like that, and then shift to rotate in the other direction. So that's how you align it up to go where you want to. It might take you a little bit of time to get used to something like this, but it is a very valuable tool. And there are also tutorials available on how to do this. Highly recommend you learn these inside out so you can make the most of them. But there we go. We're going to have a station up here. We're going to pump the oil out of these pump jacks and then load it up on this part here. Here's something that we can do that I don't think I've ever actually done in this game. Maybe I did many years ago when I played it, but you can add it in a gate, and I'm not sure how many of these blocks you actually need for a train track. It looks like you'll probably need 2, and also when we do that, then it's on the train track, so maybe we should put the rail in there first. Okay, there we go. So that's kind of weird looking, but there you go. It goes down when something wants to come through. So basically it's a wall that we can adjust. And I was wondering if this thing needed power. It doesn't appear to do so, so I can walk through here and so can the trains. Okay, all the rails are in place, and this next bit is going to be rather exciting because I discovered something I wasn't aware of that's really cool. So this is how you place down a station. I'm going to change the colours to 100 on each. We're just going to have something grey and dull for our first station because you can change the colour of it and the train, and we're going to call this one First Oil Load. Later on maybe we'll come up with another naming system. This one, Unload, is another station in the world that's already been placed. So here's what I've discovered. You can zoom in and give orders to your train. So down here I have built a station. I put a train on the track facing in the right direction with our fluid wagon behind it. These are one of the many things we've researched and unlocked and had crafted down below. And then we put in our pumps. Now the arrow of the pump tells you which way the liquid's going to go, so we can put it into this storage tank. I've also belted across a load of coal from our coal site to fuel it up over here using an inserter. So this thing has an inventory which I can't look at. That's interesting. Can't access the items, but I can tell it where to go. So I can add a station, which is going to be the one that we just made, and then let's put a condition that can never be met. So item count, just put something here and put a number there, and that'll be fine. So if I put it on automatic, it's going to now head over here. We can watch the train, or we can move around and follow it on the mini-map. Be cool if there were a way to like lock into it, but off it goes all the way up to where we are. In fact, pressing M might leave this open. It does. And now it's stopped here, and it's stopping because it will never actually fulfill this condition. What we'll do then is add another one to send it back down again, but of course we got to load it up with oil first. So over on this side is where we're going to put in our pumps. We've got 3 of them. We're going to line them up like so, and again the arrow, in this case it might be the other way around. Actually, I've got a feeling I'm going to get this horribly wrong, but that's the direction it goes in, right? So I think the way the graphic works is that it can do the connecting animation from either side. I'll actually be able to see that if I just put down a power cable. Yep, so it's going to connect like that. Awesome. Right, so then I've got my pipes and underground pipes, and we need to connect it to the fluid pumps. Fluid pumps, I mean pump jacks, of course. And one of the things you want to do with these is use them so you can walk around the pipes. For example, we're going to do that there and be lazy. Now I have to walk around the whole thing. So that's why these things are really good when piping to another location, so you can walk between them. Then let's put that in the middle so both are powered. We can now look at the pipes and see that oil is going into them. We should also look at a pollution value. Pollution 9, pollution 9. Yeah, we're going to be polluting from this area now. So let's open up our mini-map. And if that spreads out to these bases, we could be in trouble. So we've got to keep that in mind. Might have to go take out another base. But now it's loading up here. As you can see, the pumps are putting it into the fluid wagon on the back. Well, unfortunately, it went off before I got to put in the condition here. If we look at how much it's holding 0, right? So then it should go to the next one. Maybe it's supposed to be an equals symbol there. Turns out I just got the stations the wrong way around, so when there is no fluids in the back of the tank, it is then going to head all the way up here, and then it won't leave until it's full, and that's thanks to those conditions that we've set. Alright, so here it is arriving, and you must be careful not to get run over by a train. Let's just run through this. So it is at this station, and it needs to wait here until it has 25k oil, which is the most that that can hold, and it's intelligent. It looks into its inventories. Everything in this game is pretty smart, and yeah, that's it. It's going to go back and forth now. Anyway, if we look into the mini-map, you can see the pollution is right on the border up here, so we're going to have to take that base out. And that has been taken care of, my friends. It was a bit of a grindy fight. And back down here, I wanted to show you that we got a storage tank, and I wanted to show you another little trick as well. I paused this thing at the moment, but if we hop inside, we can click on this thing, go to station, and then it will ride over to the other place. So now, when we want to travel back and forth between those locations, we can nice and easy. But that is where we're going to be wrapping up this episode. If you have enjoyed it, then leave a like. I thank you for your support, and I will see you soon with another episode. Ciao for now. Bye-bye.